Good evening to those bored enough to watch. In a previous video, I talked about a game called A Bite at Freddy's, a game that I found to be a fun and interesting game that deeply immersed me into its mechanics. When I was making that video, I began to look into other fan games that piqued my interest, that being the subject of today's video, Fredbear's Fright. I've played this game a few times since I first discovered it, and I've grown an appreciation towards it that I want to share in this video. So, with that said, let's discuss Fredbear's Fright. Immediately from looking at the game, this is one that mixes the assets seen in the first Five Nights at Freddy's game with its own, as seen through The Office and through some of the later nights. As I'll later discuss, the story of this game is heavily interconnected with the events of the first official game, and I think that the game cleverly interconnects a sense of familiarity with a sense of experiencing something new. Instead of having two doors, you'll have four ways of defending yourself in this game: a door, a vent, water, and a keypad. The last two are specific to their respective animatronics, but the other two are more broadly used for others. For example, animatronics such as Dismantled Spring Bonnie, the hand puppets, and a few others will mostly be trying to enter through the vents and the doors, in which you need to check for them on the cameras or listen for the audio cue in order to prevent them from doing so. While you can prevent Dismantled Spring Bonnie from entering the office, Dismantled Fredbear can't be stopped despite entering the same way. Instead, when he enters the office, you'll need to use the hydrolysis lever to ward him off. Scrapped Fredbear will call the phone and make you enter a code on the keypad, resulting in being jump scared if you fail to do so in time. Personally, I never really ran into him as much as he calls very rarely. Prototype works a lot like Foxy in the first game, in the sense that you need to keep an eye on him through the respective camera, and when he's no longer there, you need to close the door as that likely means he's running straight to the office. Unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, there's no audio cue to discern when he's actually left. This is something that I partially want to critique, as while in the grand scheme of things it isn't much of an issue, but audio cues are inconsistent in this game as you never know what has one and what doesn't. For example, Scrapped Mouseski has an audio cue for every time he moves. Animatronics that enter the vent have an audio cue for whenever they leave and when they enter. However, Prototype, an animatronic you'd otherwise assume to have one, doesn't. I don't see this as much of an issue, but I always was confused as to why every other animatronic had a respective audio cue and he didn't. But with that aside, this game only has 4 main nights. For the first 3 and some of the 4th, you'll play the game as normal. However, when you reach the 4th night, from 1 AM and onward, you'll be faced against Fright, the main antagonist of this game. His behaviors are easy to follow, as he'll either go to the vents or the door, and the only way to know where he is through tracking him on the camera. This means that he doesn't have any audio cues and relies more on tracking him through the camera in order to successfully beat the night. The 4th night can be challenging if you don't know what you're doing, but once you learn and understand what to do, it becomes rather easy. With that though, after beating the 4th night, we enter a cutscene where we see the perspective of the phone guy in the first Five Nights at Freddy's game when he was being killed by the animatronics. Before he can finish his message, he's jump scared, thus ending Fredbear's Fright. After beating the main game, there is a lot that you can do, namely the 5th night once again sees you assume the phone guy in the animatronic suits. You need to hold the spacebar to keep the spring locks from closing while warding off Freddy, Bonnie, and Golden Freddy. Chica and Foxy are absent from this mode, supposedly because during the first Five Nights at Freddy's game they will never actually enter the back rooms during their wanders, though honestly I'm not too sure. When Bonnie or Freddy open the door to menacingly stare at you, you need to remain still and not press anything as moving will result in death. Intervals where they're going to need to be used to tend to the spring locks, though they aren't the only threats presented to you. Golden Freddy hallucinations will occur prominently throughout the night, in which you need to ward them off by closing your eyes. This can also happen when Bonnie and Freddy are present, but warding off the hallucinations won't get you killed, unlike trying to tend to the spring locks during their presence. The night begins at 2 AM, most likely after the phone guy was jump scared, so the night is much shorter and easier to get through. With that though, I really enjoyed my time with this night, and there is much more to see in the game, such as the insane mode and the custom night. I personally haven't tried them out for myself, but anyone who may want more from this game is welcome to do so. Furthermore, the extras menu has a lot more to see, such as the models of the animatronics and the development of this game and the process of doing so. Overall, I found the side content here to be extremely plentiful, and it's bound to keep you busy for hours on end. With that though, I want to conclude things. Throughout the time I spent with this game, I've become more and more fond of it. I didn't go into it expecting much, but as I played through it more, it began to blow me away with how well it immersed me into the experience on the numerous times I played through the game. If you enjoyed games such as A Bite at Freddy's, then this game is bound to greatly accommodate you. With that, I would recommend this frightfully fun game, Fredbear's Fright. So, there's the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. And once again, apologize if my voice sounds rather odd. I'm still a bit sick while making this video, but I'm hoping that isn't much of an issue for you. If you want to view the list of games I want to make videos about in the future, then you can always do so through the link in the description. Additionally, if you want to follow me, then my socials will be linked in the description, as well as any afterthoughts or messages I may want to add. With that though, I haven't really got much else I want to say, so I'll see you all in my next video. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I wish you all a very pleasant evening.